Yes, Council Anthony Nasimwe, the Vice President of the Uganda Law Society. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Katongo. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Like you said, I've been on call, but I've been on and off. But knowing my president here, I knew the space would be on until even morning, if the time allowed. So, yeah, I was dealing with a lot of other things, moving from one space also to this, and then trying to figure out a lot of other things. But what is for me really important is the fact that we have young minds like you who are really intentional in when it comes to opening the space and the discussion for our generation and the younger generation to discuss issues that really affect our very being, our livelihood, our day-to-day activities, and the fact that you involve the leadership of the Radical New Bar. We don't really take it for granted. I want to believe that whoever has been listening in, the president always has a lot of knowledge to share. You sometimes wonder where it all comes from, or when he manages to put all this together, the insights he shares, I believe, are beneficial to each and every one of us. And again, these are the realities which we're lucky to have individuals and people like him who are willing to share the realities of what we go through on a daily basis, the way it is. Because as you're aware, in this in the current military government, the military way of doing things is total disrespect of processes, the rule of law, the laid down procedures, constitutionalism, and we keep finding ourselves in situations where we're fighting to get out, and the person who is doing the right thing is viewed as either disrespectful or as someone who doesn't know what they're doing. And I want to believe we all know it's not by mistake that we have the approach we are using the approach we are using. Today I happened to briefly attend the eighth the Joan Kagezi Memorial Lecture, the eighth of its kind, and during the discussions, I was impressed by the nature of the questions being put across by the panelists. But I think the disappointment personally I got was the responses, the fact that people in those, offices, in those positions gloss over some of these aspects. They don't want to talk about them because they're in a field and in the public eye, and they feel they don't want to annoy the powers that be. But I was particularly impressed by one judicial officer, one judge who was very emphatic, talking about prosecutorial discretion and access to justice, and much as he wasn't giving specific examples, he was very emphatic when it came to failure to respect due process. And I related that to the Okero Anyim trial. I wanted to believe he was really speaking to his bosses, the judiciary, and other institutions that bowed to the pressures and abused process, broke the law. The president telling you here about how the people who are supposed to protect the law, even the judges, break the law. And this specific judge spoke to the fact that it doesn't matter what the pressures are, whether it is pressure from the public, whether it's from any other area, we must follow due process for us to say that someone is delivering justice. You don't rush simply because you're under this pressure. The public wants to see a decision. The public wants to see justice in their own meaning, their own understanding. But the moment you fail to follow due process, that is already injustice on its own. And I feel we're falling short of having such individuals, especially in public offices. I had them gloss over the issue of corruption by the prosecutors, by the judicial officers, speaking about it casually like it's a small thing. Yet we all know how this corruption scourges greatly and negatively impacted the spaces, especially in the judicial processes, in criminal proceedings, bail applications, and other areas, especially when it comes to the judiciary, in the police, and all these institutions of government. And we had the IGG present, but I feel those spaces are provided probably to have these discussions, but even we never get meaningful discussions. They never get people who speak truth to power. We never get people who use those platforms to tell these people what they should hear, but rather those who say what they believe these people want to listen to, what these people want to hear. So clearly, I don't think I would really add much onto what the president has discussed as far as the state of affairs are concerned. He's given a detailed account of where we are, giving you different angles and different aspects of how you can understand why certain things happen the way they do, and bringing in the aspects of why, as the leadership of the lawyers, the governing council, why we sometimes choose to communicate the way we do, and why we approach these issues the way we do, because clearly you realize that as lawyers we're the last line of defense in a nation, in a country where even the judiciary, which should be the last line of defense for the common person, where everyone should run to seeking protection, is clearly under capture, where they've demonstrated lack of independence, where they've demonstrated through the leadership of the institution itself that they are working on the whims of the executive, on directives, on instructions, but not doing what is expected of them. What do you expect the rest of the citizens to go? What do you expect them to do? So I remember at the beginning or sometime last year when we had intensified such spaces, such discussions, the president was also clear on the intention of dealing with what we call information asymmetry, because I had him talk of the historical backgrounds of the politics of the country, the constitutionalism, the changes that we've gone through, the transitions that we've gone through. It's because some of us, especially people in this of our generation and the bigger group here, lack the knowledge, the information of what has happened in the past, which is really important in assisting you or guiding you to formulate opinions or to make decisions on what you can do, what contributions you can make. And we end up seeing some of these things as others are new. But again, history has taught us that there are certain things that keep happening and keep repeating themselves. Some of these things are not happening for the first time, but we tend to forget that people have gone through this, and probably can borrow a leaf and also, you know, use the different approaches depending on the situation. Now, really, for me, it is to thank you for organizing this space, for giving this platform to the members here and to us as the leadership to speak to the people, to speak to the members of the public who are willing to listen, who have this thirst for learning or getting to know where we stand, especially when it comes to areas of administration of justice and governance, because we keep lying to ourselves that governance should be left for politicians, which is wrong, because we all have a stake, we all have a role to play. And when things go south, when things go bad and it's during your time, what really matters is what role you play as an individual. It's what you'll be judged against in future. But we tend to imagine that we should all sit back and watch and leave this war for some people. I mean, we're having this space thanks to our digital transformation agenda. The president is not in the country. He can't be here, he's in exile, but he's still able to, share with us, speak to us, those of us who are here in Uganda. And some people have actually normalized this. They're making it look like it's normal that the president of the bar, or the National Bar Association, is living in exile, and it's fine, it's normal, it's okay. And there are people who have power to change this, but probably they're enjoying it, or probably they tend to ignore the fact that it's embarrassing for anyone to hear this. And even our other senior members of the bar probably are not even bothered about it. But these things keep happening, they keep coming. And it reminds me of what we usually say. Sometimes when something is happening and it's not happening to you, you imagine it's really very far from you until it knocks at your door, until it gets to you personally, especially these aspects of abuse for rule of law. And we really should all step up and do better than we're doing. We need to, each and every one of us has a contribution to make in as far as ensuring that we have better governance, we have, a better environment for rule of law in this country. So I thank you once again. I'm sure, I don't know how much time you had scheduled for the space. Like I said before, I know with our president, the space can go on and even, up to the next day, no leaving the venue. That's what we call it, because there are other people who join in, those who are interested in learning. Also allow me, in a special, recognize one of, I see our council member, Mr. Edina Angulu, online, who represents the Eastern Bar of the Uganda Law Society. And earlier had seen other members of council who probably have dropped off. I think it's also really a privilege that you're able to have such an engagement where you have some of these colleagues to join in and listen and probably answer some questions. That shows how much committed our leadership is in concerning these matters of governance, rule of law, and access to justice in the country. So for me, really, I'll just pass that vote of thanks to the organizers of this space, as well as our president, Senior Counsel Isaac Chimaze Semakade, for always being open to these engagements and for valuing this. You may not know, just earlier today, while having a discussion with the president, had suggested to him a meeting at the same time, but he says, no, VP, I have this very important space. We cannot have that meeting. We can postpone that meeting because this space is very important, I can't miss it. I can't put anything else. So that's how much he values you people. That's how much he values these spaces, these discussions, and and it's not something that we intend to stop. We've agreed at council level that we give these platforms more attention, and thanks to his leadership, he's leading by example. So I thank you, and President, on behalf of all the participants, people who are listening in, and organizers, I would like to extend sincere appreciation and gratitude to you for always sparing time, not just for today, but for always sparing time and putting in the the work, the energy, and giving the people, giving us people in these spaces, especially the younger generation, what probably they would never have gotten from any other place. So thank you very much. Over to you, Katongole.
Oh, very intriguing. And we want to also thank you, the Vice President of the Uganda Law Society, Anthony Asimwe, also an advocate of the court, a lecturer at the LDC, I met at very many young lawyers. A man we've seen fill the shoes of a president when in exile, and this is what they call the rerun mate. Indeed, we appreciate you, and we acknowledge you here at the Insights Express series for the work you do, and the team at the Uganda Law Society now, because you at the ground running operations on behalf of the president. Of course, he's also the other side trying to run things here and there. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We can't appreciate you enough, but we are always privileged that when we invite you, you are able to come and speak to us regarding matters of the law, regarding matters of this nation, because it's very hard to separate the law and, the governance and the nation. That's why we have what we call the rule of law doctrine. It's not from atmosphere or where, but it's governance and the law. The relationship is very symbiotic. So we try very hard to see that whenever we reach out, you people respond and come to calls like this. We thank you very much, both of you, Mr. President, Senior Counsel Isaac Semakade, and then Vice President Anthony Asimwe. Asante sana. Thank you very much.